Welcome to April's Garage. It's not a great time to be an auto owner. Is that a correct term?
No,
auto owner?
no, it's not. No.
And I know you've gotten those calls for extended warranties thousands and thousands and thousands of times. They all seem like a scam.
We've been wanting to talk to you about your vehicle's extended warranty.
Which most of them, are they scams? Are they real?
Scams.
Yeah, a lot of them are
Yes.
scams. But even when the dealer pushes them at you, are they?
Their object is to make money. So
Right.
obviously the warranty is priced at a point to where they want to make money on you. So you can get very lucky, like Doug DeMuro years ago on the CarMax Range Rover.
Yeah.
When they underpriced the warranties on high-end vehicles at CarMax, and you could exploit them. But those days are gone for the most part,
Right.
unless you know one's an absolute turd and you want to exploit it. But yeah,
Well, so there's this new thing going around. On your infotainment center,
Yes.
a warning pops up that pretty much locks you into talking about negotiating this extended warranty for certain
good
cars.
old Stellantis. People are taking pictures of this right now where they're getting a pop-up on their infotainment screens.
So bad.
And it says, purchase peace of mind.
So bad.
Mopar Vehicle Protection Maximum Care Plans are factory-backed and offer you peace of mind in case of a mechanical breakdown. Press the call button to speak to a specialist. Odometer must be less than 36 miles to purchase.
So that just seems like it's one more thing. Like, you know, back in the day, you could just turn the TV on and watch TV. And like back in the day, you could just get in a car and turn it on and not have all these alerts and little systems that you need to get through to
Right.
actually just drive your car out of your garage. And this is another kind of
So
hurdle.
now you're getting your Jeep or your Dodge or your Ram or whatever,
Yeah.
and you're getting pop-up messages from them to buy an extended warranty that you have to exit out of. And it's not smart. It doesn't know if you're past the mileage. It doesn't know if you qualify or not, but it's still going to give you the pop-up message, which, what the...
Right.
I don't care how many sales it results in, not very many I imagine, but the negative goodwill, or what's the opposite of negative, the bad...
The backlash?
The bad juju they're going to
Okay.
get from this
Right.
is going to be insane.
Well, I just see another method for hackers to kind of come in and put their own thing on your infotainment center to kind of click buttons. You know how your emails, like, you know, you have all these phishing emails that you're not supposed to press a link to take you somewhere so people can hack you. This could turn into that, where you say, okay, and you press on your infotainment center and some hacker can get your information. And there's all different avenues where I feel like this is a terrible idea.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I imagine someone will create an AI to take over and we'll all be dead or zombied anyway. But just right now, being a car owner sucks. I mean, insurance costs are really high, interest
Right.
rates are high, vehicle prices are ridiculously high. And then what they're offering that is reasonably priced is so boring, so boring. And one, Chevy has decided to dump the internal combustion Blazer.
Okay.
And now it's going to be EV only, and that means the Cadillac XT5 and 6, which are on the same platform, are going away as well. The more reasonably priced crossover internal combustion Cadillacs. And the why did they call it a Blazer?
I mean,
Whatever.
like, I was thinking about that, and I love kind of that old school boxy Blazer, of course, and this just looks like a regular crossover, but then every generation for all different car makers, cars have changed body styles drastically. So like,
Yes.
why can't Blazer do the same thing? But I was just annoyed because it looks like every other EV or every
Right.
other, you know, crossover out there.
Right, which is why you bought the baby Bronco, because
like
it
the
didn't
baby
look
Bronco.
like it, even though it was kind of a chintzy unibody with a 3-cylinder turbo.
What is chintzy? Where
It was
are we
not
coming out with that?
It's fine, but it is not remotely rugged.
No.
The looks, the drapes don't match the carpet. Or no, that's
The
not what you say.
curtains don't match
Oh
the
yeah,
drapes,
yeah. I'm
maybe?
sorry.
Or wait, the carpet?
Anyway, anywho. You pop the hood and you go underneath, and it's not a little rugged, fun little off-roader like
Every time
an
you
old
drive
Jeep
it.
Cherokee XJ
Yeah.
or whatever. It's a car basically that
Yeah.
looks tough. Yeah. So that's what you bought.
I
Since
like
it looked different.
It's fun. It gets
And
you around.
Your
And
father has it now.
And I gave it to my dad because I moved here. Well, my dad bought me a Lincoln LS when I was, I think, like, I don't know, 19, 20, 21. And so I feel like time to give back when you can. And so I'm really happy that I was able to give him the baby Bronco, and he really likes it.
It's a good car. It
So I hope he
drives
doesn't
fine.
watch this because you're totally shitting
No,
on it.
it's not something that you would take off road. It's not something
No,
it's
it's
not
not.
even anything remotely
Right.
trail No.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's fine. So that's what it's basically a crossover, like all the other crossovers. It just looks a little more muscular. But yeah, the choices for new cheap cars. Not very exciting. Like the Dodge Dakota was very exciting. Very exciting. And I was wrong. It was $23,000 new, the Dakota Sport crew cab V8 4-wheel drive back in 2003. Which
That's amazing.
I mean, even if you double that today, I guess it's still because of inflation. But
Right.
yeah, there's just not a lot of cool, fun, cheap options. So it sucks to be a car. So they say goodbye to the Blazer. Nobody cares. That's why. I think the sales were down quite a bit on it. And they were made in Mexico, which I think we've settled the tariff thing to where we don't have to worry about that for now.
Right.
But there was going to be some scare with that as far as cars made out of the country from Mexico, Canada, China, whatever.
Right.
So, and speaking of our old buddy who crashed that Subaru into the Mazda dealership, which if those of you who didn't catch that or don't remember, here's the clip. Kaboom! So he
Very
bought the car.
dangerous. Very, very dangerous.
He bought the car,
Right.
and it was total as is, whereas cheap sale, like the cheap high mileage Subaru.
Right.
And discovered a couple hours after buying it that it had a lot of problems.
Right.
He wanted to take it back. They're like, hey, sorry, as is. But then when he raised the stink, they were like, okay.
Right.
okay.
He thought he was getting the screaming deal of a lifetime, and obviously that doesn't happen. If it's too good to be true, it usually is, except for
Right.
Tyler Hoover, which I met, and I'm so happy.
Whatever. But apparently they said, okay, fine, bring it back. But he was so angry and he wasn't listening, he went out to the parking lot and crashed it through the dealership. So now he is facing felony charges. So
Yeah.
this is not something that you want to do when you're really mad, because rather than being stuck with a $6,000-$7,000 car that has a lot of issues, apparently he did $85,000 in damage at the
Wow.
dealership. And it is a bad enough felony to where he could face up to 15 years in prison and a fine of up to $10,000, which I guess, $85,000 in damage.
I mean, he could have very easily hit someone, debris could have ricocheted and hit someone. There could be little kids hiding under a desk, who knows, anything could have happened. So he's lucky that it's just that
Right.
amount of damage.
So even modern cheap used cars, they're not good. There's so much stuff to go wrong that you're almost better off going back another decade and buying something 20 years old like an Escalade, because it's less complicated.
Your favorite car.
But there's so many options from the mid 2000s that are holding up better than something from say like 2010 to
Sure.
15. It's so frustrating. It is a really tough time to be a car buyer, a car guy, or whatever. But speaking of, and speaking of criminals, so you go buy yourself a new F350 with all the options. You get the Platinum, the Platy, you're super John Ross, watch JR go, and you got your new shiny truck. And then
Big
you come
massage
out.
seats in it.
Oh yeah, they got massage seats. They've got everything.
When did
These
that
things are-
happen? A pickup truck having massage seats.
They
Like, what
are
happened to us Americans? We are
Lux-
so lazy.
That is crazy. They are luxury. They're Mercedes S classes with truck beds now. These
Yeah.
Ford F250, 350s. They are crazy expensive too, and the parts are ridiculous. So you park your truck. It's really fancy. You kind of overextended yourself buying this truck anyway with your $1,500 a month payment, and you're going to sleep, and the truck's in your driveway. You wake up, come out, your taillights are gone.
What do you
What?
mean?
Well, so these new fancy F350, like for 2024, these taillights are LEDs. They have built-in
cool.
sensors in them for blind spot monitoring and all that stuff. They cost $2,000 a light. So back in the day, like a Lamborghini Murcielago headlight used to cost almost that much, or a little
Right.
bit more.
Right.
And now we got Ford F250, 350s with taillights
What?
that cost this much.
Why?
And all you have to do is pop the tailgate, and it's two screws right there, unplug, you're off. I mean, talking gone in 60 seconds, probably gone in 15, 20 seconds, and you've got a $2,000 taillight in your hands.
Right. That's, not bad. I mean, people have been stealing stuff off of trucks for a long time, and catalytic converters in Chicago is a thing where you have to put like a cage around it.
Right.
And bolt it in there. But
Well,
is there going to be a fix for this?
This is way more lucrative than catalytic converters, because you can get, on the black market, $300-$500 for a catalytic converter. And they got some taillights here, and there's
Right.
no tracing them back to the car because
Oh.
there's no VIN numbers. They're just like VIN etched taillights, which is just so stupid. Like people are gonna have to put like the little Apple trackers in
Right.
them or something.
Right.
It's insane that they make taillights that are that expensive on a Ford pickup truck. And
Right.
like just for reference, they go back and like price out older taillights. So currently they're 1,980.37 excluding tax and
Oh.
shipping. But if you go back to a non-LED, non-parking sensor one, they're $494, which is
Right.
pretty darn expensive for a freaking taillight.
Sure.
That's not LED, not fancy.
Right.
And then you go back to like my Ford Raptor out there, $63 the taillight is what it
That's
costs.
what it should be. On these working man, working woman trucks, they should be affordable.
So we're required to have, all these safety technologies, the blind spot monitoring, the accident accident warning,
Sure.
and of course all the safety stuff. And they're putting it in. It's making the cars more expensive, but making the repair costs more expensive, making insurance more expensive because we're making claims. But it's interesting now. If you own a fancy Ford with these taillights, you can't street park it. Sort of like the Mopars where it's easy to steal the keys and the
Right.
keys are easy to hack. Now you have to worry about the taillights on your Ford F-250.
This will be the reason now justified why men always back into parking spaces, because it'll be harder to rip off those taillights if you back in to the wall in your parking space.
But
'Cause why do guys do
no,
that all
actually,
the time? Why do guys do that?
If you think about it, if it's backed into the wall, then it gives a better hiding spot for the thieves. Because if you park nose in,
Yeah.
then they're facing the road in the parking lot, and everybody's going to see them.
Yeah,
So
but you like almost just barely kind of touch the wall, like you're a centimeter away.
I think then they couldn't put the tailgate down. You're right.
I have all
they
these
couldn't
dreams.
they couldn't put the tailgate
see.
down,
Okay.
and then they couldn't get to the screws. So you are
Right.
absolutely right.
Right.
But these trucks are so freaking big now; they won't fit in their own garages at home. So it's
Right.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing. I don't. Yeah, I got the used Tesla Plaid.
Right.
We got the used Lyric,
Right.
and I just
Well, you're comparing this to trucks, the 2003 Dakota that we just
Mm-hmm.
drove. That seems like, why can't we just go back to the good old days? Go back to the basics. That's what I want to see.
absolutely.
Not these fancy construction men who are all of a sudden having their massage seats in their F-350s. Goodbye.
The person who makes the analog cheap machine, I think, wins for
Yeah.
sure. Because people are, I'm sure, tired of this crap. At least I am. Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching.